On July 25th, 2023, the CAPM exam would take the biggest update in the exam history. And I would take this exam on July 26th, the very next day, without studying for it. Now, in this video, I'm going to explain to you my experience taking this exam. I'm going to give you guys tips on how you can pass your CAPM exam. Now, let's get into it. So, I'm Andrew Ramtiel, and I'm a little different than most CAPM folks that takes the exam because I am the author of the book PMP, Exam Prep Simplified, which is Amazon's best-selling book for the PMP. I'm also the course creator for many PMP courses that are the top-selling courses in the world right now. I've been teaching project management since 2008 to hundreds of thousands of students. Oddly enough, I've never taken the CAPM exam until now. Now I'm actually CAPM certified. Although I've created courseware for it, I've never actually taken the test. And with this drastic change on the exam, I decided, you know what, before I make a brand new CAPM course, let me just take the CAPM exam and see what this test is like. And what I encountered was not what I was expecting. It was a vastly different exam than what I was going into thinking that it would have been. Let's get started. Before I get started with my experience, I want to talk a little bit about the CAPM exam if you don't know what it is. If you don't know, maybe you want to fast forward a few minutes so we can get this out the way. So the first thing up, the CAPM stands for Certified Associate in Project Management. It is an exam offered by PMI or the Project Management Institute. It is considered an entry-level project management certification. You don't need any experience to take it. For this, I will show you guys the PMI's website. So let's go to PMI's website, and here I am at the PMI's website, and under certification you have the CAPM exam. So if I go here and I scroll down, this will tell me what it is: Certified Associate in Project Management. Now this exam date, notice it says I'm already logged in, you can see my name here. It says my next renewal date would be in 3 years. Now it says, what is CAPM? Now, I do want to point out that what do you need to qualify to take this exam? I just mentioned you do not need any experience in project management to take this certification, but you must have a couple of things. Number one, you must have some kind of secondary degree, such as a high school diploma, GED, or any degree would count. So at a minimum, a high school diploma. You would also need to take a 23-hour course in project management. You must complete this before taking the exam. Now, the thing is that I have created a 23-hour course to help you fulfill the second requirement. The links are in the description below. That's going to give you everything you need to know to pass your exam. So we'll talk about the course though more towards the end of the video. Let's go back to seeing more about this particular exam. So here's the 23 hours. Now the CAPM exam is an exam that goes 3 hours, 150 questions, and it covers basically 3 concepts. You must have the fundamentals of project management, and the 3 main concepts is agile project management, predictive project management, and the new one that was added, the biggest update, was the business analysis. Now this would throw me off because going into the exam, I wasn't expecting a lot of BA questions, but I ended up getting a ton of BA questions. Although not complex, there were more BA questions or business analyst questions than I anticipated. Although I was very versed in BA, I did find the questions a little bit complex. So I had to go back to the drawing board, and when I made the CAPM course, I incorporated tons of BA processes and tools so you have a good understanding what exactly does a business analyst do so you can pass your exam. If you are taking a CAPM course right now that is not mine, I would give you a word of caution. Make sure the course has tons of BA concepts, because when you show up to take your exam, you're going to see tons and tons of BA questions. It is not a joke. It really threw me off. Although I did get above target on everything, I really felt that this exam was much harder than I anticipated. So let's talk about my exam experience, type of questions in taking the test. First of all, the exam is much harder than it was previously. On previous CAPM exams, it was just more of memorization. You just memorize some processes, memorize a bunch of what's called ITTOs, or inputs, tools, and outputs, and definition, and just like that you would pass. In fact, I've never met a person that has ever failed this test utilize in my courseware in the history that I've been teaching it, which is going to go back more than 10 years. Now, this particular one changed the game. This test was very much a scenario-based test. It wasn't just about memorizing stuff. It was about understanding stuff. So you don't memorize much, but you have to understand a lot of different things. You really have to understand, when would you use agile versus predictive project management, or when would you use an adaptive process versus a predictive process? And then you really have to understand, how does a BA fit into the world of project management? How does a BA contribute to the world of project management? How does a BA elicit different kinds of requirements? Was a lot of the topics. So that's really what you have to know in order to pass. Now, in my course, I will cover all of these topics for you. Now, the other thing that's interesting with this test is you can take it online. I took this course online in my house, sitting at my own desk in my own computer. You could take this test in an exam testing center. I don't recommend taking it at an exam testing center. If you have a reliable computer and a reliable internet, I would suggest taking it at home. If you live in a place of the world where you don't have reliable internet, your computer isn't the best thing going, I would say go to a testing center. If not, please take it at home. This exam is broken into, it's 150 questions over 3 hours. It's broken into 2 sections. There's a 75 question, and then you get a 10-minute break, and then you come back and you do another 75 question. So you're not sitting there for an entire 3 hours. Please take the break. I did not take the break when taking this exam. I finished it in a little over 1 hour and 20 minutes. But keep in mind, guys, I've been teaching project management for a very, very long time. So that's my experience taking the actual exam. Now, what do you need to study? Well, the exam was mostly about a lot of questions. One was on Agile. Make sure you really understand Agile concepts. Make sure you understand the Agile mindset, Agile processes, and Agile ceremonies. The exam had quite a few questions on predictive tools and predictive processes. So make sure you understand, like, what's a project charter and what's the purpose of it. Make sure you understand that when projects execute, what are you actually doing when it executes on predictive sides? What are some predictive documents, like a project management plan? How's quality managed? Make sure you understand things like critical path management, which we do cover in the course in depth, and make sure you know your formulas. You will be tested, as there were multiple questions on formulas. Now, before PMI crucifies me, I can't tell you what the formulas were, and I really can't even remember them. But I know there was a lot of EVM formulas, more than 3 questions on it. I just can't remember what they are, and even if I do, I will not tell you, as PMI is probably watching this video. When it comes to business analysts, make sure you understand all the process that a business analyst will follow in order to gather, track, and manage requirements. And make sure you understand the tools that the BA will use to do those particular things. If you can do that, you're going to be okay. And once again, I did mention this already, make sure you really understand the difference between when you should use one type of project management method over the other. For example, if we're building a piece of software, are we going to use a waterfall method, or are we going to use Scrum, for example? So you really need to understand those concepts, so really know those. Types of questions: multiple choice, select one choice. Multi-choice, in other words, you're going to, I did have questions we have to select. They give you like a question, you have 5 choices, you got to select 2 of those. You're also going to get drag and drops. Those are relatively simple. You just got to drag some things, maybe put some things in order. And one type of question I've never seen before was a comic strip. They give you this giant comic strip that you have to read, like something out of a Sunday newspaper, like a Garfield comic strip that you have to read. It was about project management in general, team members talking. You have to read the comic strip, understand the scenario, and then answer a question. Although I did felt this question was quite useless, because at the end of the day, the question was just a very straightforward question with a bunch of useless stories. It took up a lot of time to read. I don't know what was the point of this particular question. If PMI is watching this video, I would suggest taking it out. It didn't add any value to the exam, and it didn't really test anything new. I would highly suggest to remove that question, but it's PMI's exam. It's up to them what they want to do with it. Now, my course, if you are interested in passing your CAPM exam, advancing your career in the world of project management, or getting acquainted with project management, I would highly suggest to check out my course. I've been teaching PMP courses since 2008. Hundreds of thousands of people have the best-selling PMP course here on Udemy. I'm also, once again, the author of the best-selling PMP study guide on Amazon right now and maybe even worldwide. Now, in this particular course, it's a course that touches over nearly 26 hours of content where I cover everything in foundations of project management, predictive project management and all the processes, agile project management, and everything you need to know, exceeding even what you need to know for your exam. And I really go in depth into the BA processes. Now, I also give you tons of practice questions. You get a full-length mock exam to test your skills. This course will give you the 23 hours of project management education you need to apply to take your CAPM exam. The link to the course will be in the description below. I'm also making a CAPM exam simulator. My PMP exam simulator is one of the top PMP exam simulator that has helped thousands of students pass. In fact, if you watch my live streams, you can see how many people pass with the simulator, with my PMP simulator. So my CAPM simulator would be something very similar. It's going to look exactly like the test, and it's going to give you questions that are very, very similar. Now, what makes my course different? If you're saying, why should I take your course? Well, unlike many of the instructors that teaches this course, they've never taken a test before. I actually took this test, as you can see from the certificate that was shown, I guess, earlier in the video. Editors, make sure to add that in there. The actual certificates, so these folks can see that I took the test. Now, if you go through my course, you go through all the practice questions, I'm pretty sure you're going to pass the test, but it does take time and effort. One of the things with my CAPM course is that it's well structured. It's structured the same way the exam is structured. It has a whole section on predictive, whole section on agile, and a whole section on business analyst. So please check that out. Okay, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you do, please subscribe to the channel. Give me a like. I'll add a lot more CAPM content as we learn more about this exam that's basically been out for a month now. I've had about 80 students taking it with my course and pass it as part of a focus group we did when I created the course a few weeks ago. And I haven't had anybody fail yet. Again, the course just basically came out. So in the next coming months, we'll get thousands and thousands of people to actually take this exam with my course. Anyway, Trey, I wish you the absolute best of luck taking your CAPM exam. Hopefully you find value in my course, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.